Oh.
No, I didn't like.
Yeah. I know, I think it's. Uptown. And they're on your right, so you're on there.
Still no John, you think I have yet or anything? No?
No.
Okay. That was real quick.
I thought.
And it was like, look,
Yes.
there is.
Steve Harris. Sleeps all of us. It's college. So. But you I was like. Call to order our August 18th, school board meeting. First item on the agenda is the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item, 1.2, our mission statement. I'll go to read it this time. Our mission to graduate all students with high levels of academic and personal achievement, ready for post-secondary excellence, prepared for productive, compassionate citizenship through research-based instruction and a collaborative system of support. The changes or additions to the agenda today? All right, number 3, introductions and attendance. Can we get everyone in the audience to introduce themselves?
Lori Barron. Becky Lynn, Thomas Title I teacher. Molly Hill, a first grade teacher, parent. Amber Schopper, parent. Lexi Wagner, EA parent.
Amber McKee, Director of Programs for Pleasant Hill Education Foundation.
Susie Rexius, also on the foundation and also a mentor in the reaching out.
Thank you for being here today, everyone. It's always nice to have an audience. Next is 4.0 is public forum. So individuals who are here During this portion of the board meeting, members of the public are specifically invited to present items of commendation and or concern. At the discretion of the board chair, further public participation may be allowed if specific agenda items are under consideration by the board. Individuals who are viewing online, the school district posts the upcoming agenda on our website the Friday before regularly scheduled Monday school board meetings. This will allow for public comment prior to the board meeting. Please click the tab provided to share your comments for the school board to consider at the upcoming meeting. Personnel matters may not be discussed in public at a school board meeting. Members of the public who have personnel concerns or commendations should share them directly with the district superintendent. We have the online comments? No. Anyone in person like that at any public comments? Yes.
I just wanted to talk about the public comment section actually being at the beginning of a meeting and not having the opportunity to speak after we've heard what the discussions are. For me, it's hard to know what I want to ask if I don't know, one, the whole scope of what's being presented, and two, what is actually being said when that is being presented. So having another opportunity to discuss what's being talked about would be helpful either throughout the meeting or at the end of the meeting.
Good, that's good feedback, thank you. Anyone else today? All right. 5.0 action items, so I put what approval of the June 16th. Budget hearing and board meeting minutes. Oh yeah. Not consent agenda, individual, these individual, correct? Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve? I'll move to approve. June 16th. Budget hearing and board meeting minutes. Seconded. Been moved and seconded, any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And none opposed, passes 4-0. Next is approval of the June 7th special board meeting minutes. The motion on that.
I'll move to approve the July 7th, 2025 special board meeting minutes.
Second. One second, been moved and second. Any further discussion? None. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. None opposed, 4-0. Approval of the personnel activity or approved personnel report.
So each month, you might be asked to take action on personnel. This is licensed personnel. So this month, it's ready for direction to approve the personnel action for licensed employees as reflected in this resolution. And any addendum is ever along with this resolution. So the categories this month is a licensed resignation.
Any questions for anyone, comments? Then I'll hear motions.
To approve personnel report, resolution 2526.10.
Okay. Moved and seconded, for discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0. All right, 5.4. Approve the naming of the middle high school library as the Patrick McCurdy Library.
So, District Administration, the Pleasantville Education Foundation, we recommend naming the middle high school library in honor of Patrick McCurdy. Recognizing his contributions to Pleasantville students and community, board approval is required for the formal naming of district facilities. Patrick McCurdy served as the guidance counselor at Pleasantville High School from 2000 to 2003. Despite a short time here, he had a significant lasting impact on both the district and his students in the high school and middle school. Patrick McCurdy sauntered into Pleasantville High School as a diehard deadhead with a passion for working with students, his tangible care and authentic personality connected there. Patrick had a shady name, a casual approach, and an abiding love for his wife, Katie Barr, Pleasantville High School English teacher and daughter Olivia. McCurdy cut an extraordinary figure for a counselor. According to one of his past students, McCurdy wanted the best for his students. He was always looking for ways to help each one. He stayed up at night worrying and was deeply concerned about those who were struggling. He pushed students, he encouraged them, he walked the halls urging those kids who came close to quitting to get to class. Patrick was the perfect person to work with high school kids. As a coach, he celebrated his JV basketball team's only season win as though they had won the championship. He reached out to every student, listened to their stories and concerns, and he spread his brand of joy. He had known darkness in his life, but with Katie Barr and his adorable daughter Olivia, he brought the light. His dad, along with his daughter Olivia, in a terrible accident on Highway 58 on Monday, March 17, 2003, marked him in the eyes of many students as their St. Patrick. Policy FFA, donations, scholarships, and memorials. This policy outlines a process for Pleasant Hill School District to accept donations, scholarships, and memorials. The board may approve the naming of facility, room, or item in conjunction with the donation. Such memorial namings are exempt from the standard facility naming process. A memorial plaque may be accompanied the naming. Proposals for donations and memorials must be submitted to the superintendent with details on the purpose and any related fund administration. Principals may accept memorial items with superintendent approval, particularly if the item could incur future maintenance costs, and all memorial items become district property. Under this policy, the naming of the middle high school library is the Patrick McCurdy Library in conjunction with a $42,000 donation toward its remodel and in memory of Patrick, a former local educator, meets the criteria for board approval. It is recommended the board of directors approve naming the middle high school library the Patrick McCurdy Library effective immediately, and to authorize the administration to update signage, maps, and communications accordingly.
Any questions from anybody or?
I think this is a fantastic idea. I wasn't sure until I read he was a basketball coach. Thank you. I think it's great.
Opposed to soccer, right? Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah, the education foundation, we're sure. You guys have anything you want to input?
The only thing that I would include is that, Patrick's legacy here on campus is the Reaching Out Mentoring Program. That's what his, widow, Katie, invented as our custom school-based mentoring program, shortly after his death. In fact, Timothy was drafting this, memorial, statement, that we are hopefully gonna put on the wall if this happens. I suggested the very end of it, and it didn't get on this draft, but will be on the final draft, that the mentoring program here on campus, that serves all three schools, is the fitting legacy to Patrick, that really makes his spirit of who he was and what he wanted for students, continues to live on through that program. So, the mentoring program has a presence on this campus, in this beautiful building, and has always been really fortunate to have that. There used to be a presence on that high school, middle school campus, and isn't any longer. And so now, really one of the, I think, amazingly cool things that can happen with this new library and more inviting space is that also gives a place for mentors who are meeting with students in the middle school or high school, give them a dry, safe, comfortable place to have their quiet meetings together. So it, in some ways, is kind of a mentor center on that campus as the community center is on this campus. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Any other comments?
This reminds me of something I meant to bring up during the goals discussion, and it's not necessarily a goal, but this to discuss an opportunity for us as a board to tour the places that have been upgraded, renovated, like football field, track, library, gym. That would have a lot of value. I know that we're welcome to go and see those places individually, but I think it would be nice to do it together as a board. When I was on the board early on, we actually did a facilities tour when we were looking at doing upgrades before upgrades were done. And that was really beneficial. So going around and seeing like the person as board improvements that have been made for the last year or two would be really. I would appreciate that. So it's just something to suggest.
Sounds good, thank you. Alright. Well, I hear motions for, action item 5.4 here.
To approve resolution 25-26-1, the main facility, library, back in 30. What are we officially calling it here?
That's from Birdie by Birdie.
Or,
That's what I heard like.
yeah,
Pretty library, thank you.
Second.
moved and seconded, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Probably,
Yeah, thank you.
First year was due to arrive on the 26th.
Okay. Good.
Just the time.
I was at one of the foundation, I attended one of the foundation meetings where the library was discussed, so. I know a lot of some of the work that, just some of the work that you guys put into that project, thank you so much for that and everything else you guys do. So.
Thank you. Action item 5.5, accept the 2025-23-28 district strategic objectives.
This was the document that was in your,
Oh,
work session pack.
from the work session, yes. Yeah. Any other, we talked about it a little, any other further comments or? Nope. All right, then I'll hear motions.
Although Jim said the 2025-28 PHSD strategic.
Sure. All right, moved to second, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Passes 4-0. 5.6, accept fourth quarter ending June 30th financial report.
All right, it's kind of a synopsis of the year pre-audit. We still have some more taxes to bring in, but we're only 15,000 under so far of what we expected to collect, and everything in July and August gets booked back into last year's, it's based on that year's property taxes. State school fund payments will total of 8.5 million. We received 31,000 from the county school fund, 159,000 from the common school fund, 54,000 from the small high school grant, and 85,000 from the high cost disability grant. We received 654,000 in interest from investments, which I think is a record for us. And received 77,000 in curricular activity, which is like athletic fees, state fees, and other student activities. Our salary expenditures were 6,000,002, benefits 3,000,007. Purchase services, supplies, and capital outlay were 2.3 million, and then 1.1095 were made from the general fund to reserves. So in our summary of operating expenses, our revenues were over our income by 31,000. So it's actually a really good place to be, very balanced. The rest of these here, there's the month by month summary in here if you want to see that. General fund summary, our cash accounts and investments. And then our special revenue funds, our reserve funds, and our school, preschool and food service. So there's some just summaries of the year's activities in those accounts. So if anybody has any questions on those.
Does the $31,000 surplus just go to the ending fund balance?
It does. And there'll be some adjustments made to that as any money that comes in based on last year will still go into revenue. So basically, expenses are done. We expect some more revenues. And then the auditors will make some journal adjustments. They make adjustments because of the way property taxes are. They always give me a few changes. So that those aren't final figures, but it's a good snapshot of where we are.
And so year end is June 30.
Yes. And we would be audited in October.
Any other questions? All right, I'll hear motions. I move to accept financial report exhibit 2526.12.
And then
Seconded, any further? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Passes 4-0. July financial report, item 5.7.
All right, so this is just showing the first month of activity for the current year. We would have received what would amount to 2 payments for the state school fund. They always start out with a double payment, so you have cash to start your year. We don't have much in expenditures yet because staff is not back and staff is our biggest expenditure. We have some interest on investment, a little bit of curricular activity, but very quiet books in July. And that's your snapshot of that.
Any questions?
Will you remind me after the budget fiasco at the end of the session? Did that have any impact on the education budget at all? What we went in, that they just couldn't figure out transportation, but they left education alone, as far as you know.
Oh, you mean state budget, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, how much money we actually were gonna get?
No, that has, what they had anticipated turned out to be what they did fund. How it trickles down it's still an estimate as until students register, they really figure out how many students are at, to this start. But it's close.
All right,
Questions?
all right, I'll hear motions.
Over to accept July financial report, exhibit 2526.13.
Moved and seconded, any further comments? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
4-0. All right, number 6, reports and information, 6.1, superintendent report.
It has been a busy summer. Jack and Jerk project finished ahead of schedule. Been around fall teams are back on field practicing. You get a chance to walk down and it is remarkable, just the amount of cushioning you would.
Oh, yeah, with the new track.
Yeah, Jack on the turf, just get out. It's really nice. And so, community members are back up, get some track again. So anyway,
I have a question on that.
Yeah.
Because I was remote, so I couldn't quite hear the whole discussion. But the red was unintentional, or it was an oversight on the construction people's part.
correct.
And then you said that there was talk of them potentially coming back and changing it back to black in a year or 2 or something.
Yeah, so the agreement was is that if we went ahead and stuck with the red, that they could come back first 5 years or our lots, all the market stores.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So repeat everything, the white instead, all the white, okay.
And the red, they
I honestly like the red better anyway, so.
traditional. I'm just saying, the red does not fade, they say, as fast as well.
Oh,
There's some other sit around on it.
plus it's not as hot.
Not as hot, it does just kind of pop, so you don't realize, I think until now, you see that red track, that. Sure, it's kind of black track is front end, so, it's gonna go along the great track, field safety as well.
Yep.
I was going faster on red.
You know what's faster now, because apparently it was flying in right longer than my standard.
You saying I go down, break my record?
That was a cinder track though, wasn't Notice that everybody on the cinder track, so.
And I can't remember if you brought it up at the last meeting, but we, at the last minute, got some additional grant or funding or something for, pole vault, right?
Yeah, so as part of the fundraising campaign that we're going through, we got a $25,000 donation towards the end that we will put towards first aid football.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So not that we have the space for it, but that was the one thing that we were lacking, being able to host like a district. Football. So,
Alright.
I heard a little bit about the middle and high school library remodel, so it's close to being on schedule. We did have a necessary delay, so we attempted to be able to take the carpet that was in there. We knew that was over the top of the original tile floors. We weren't able to do that, and so we had to wait. The mastic that is used to hold down the tiles is where it was got asbestos in, so we lost about a week work that abated. Our contractors, it was really, I think, recovered a lot of time, so I think we're getting really close to being done next week. The furniture is due to arrive on the 26th, and so it should take about a day for the act to get in place. But anyway, we've got new flooring installed, updated all the lighting, windows are replaced, painted, should be close to being done by the end of this week. New cabinets throughout the entire, nice light birch color cabinet in there. It's looking really nice and updated. A couple of office spaces that will be used for storage of textbooks, some other materials that you don't want to lose backups. We've got 2 office spaces as well. The seismic radiation of the main gym, so we're still working on that. Over the summer, our contractor was in, they opened up a couple of holes. What they're attempting to do is just to look to see if there's going to be surprises back in the walls before we actually get started, so that we can develop the cost estimates. So last week we did working on a 60% design and cost estimates, and by the end of October we should have about a 90% design and cost estimate. And what we're really looking at is that guaranteed price setting. That is not cost estimate. Summer school, so we did held the summer school this year. We served a total of 55 students, 34 at the elementary, 14 at the middle school, and 7 at the high school at recovery. Provided 2 bus routes for transportation, had daily breakfast and snack service for our students. And then while we're still reviewing and analyzing the data, it was highly successful, given short timeline planning. Have a large part of that was just the dedication of our summer school staff that just want to be on the support of students. And again, have that quick turnaround as far as making a decision if they want to teach or serve food or work as an educational assistant with their students. There's a success, so we look forward to doing that again next year. At the same time, we also had a summer open library here at the elementary. That was United Way Partner. So that was hosted weekly open library event. We had reading, arts, crafts, and just general community gathering space. I was able to stop by on a particular day. I think this was pretty indicative of the amount that was there, but there was, it looked like about 30 children and adults attending every single open library. So excited to have that as well. People on our campus, and then last we also had our summer lunch program. That was a partnership with campus. There was 2 different locations, one in Dexter and one here on our campus. Where every Tuesday drugs, they had free meals for students. I wanted to give them a free lunch as well. I think with the amount of work that we had going on around the district, the library model, the summer school, we asked a lot of our maintenance and custodial staff as far as being able to be flexible as far as what they were planning. They really stepped up and done a great job finishing those projects up right now and getting spaces that they will take. So we're already definitely on track. We did notice we also replaced the cafeteria, the roof over the elementary cafeteria as well. Like they finished that today.
Excellent. Yeah. Any questions? All right, well, thank you, Jim. 7.0 review of board governing policies. 7.1 policy review.
So again, this is policy season. So this first one is Policy BBA and its board powers and duties. Won't go through it in much detail. It's all been pretty important, but, basically, the board responsibilities of the general powers granted to the board are around legislative or rulemaking authority, judicial authority, executive administrative authority. All these things are also being captured in the governance process as well as in our board superintendent agreements. We look at the executive administrative authority, really around the financial goals by the superintendent, developing board policy of the really big for the board. Question and comments of go on to policy BCB, and this is about board officers. This is a reiteration of how we have established our board. So this is really the replacement of officers we did in July. Question came up at that point in time as far as the term, where you can see, we think it's sense using that first paragraph. No member of the board may serve as board chair more than 2 years in succession. So what that's work. Board chair will assist the superintendent establishing the agenda for regular school board meetings, call special meetings required, preside at all meetings of the board, post the board's order, sign the minutes, correction of district and board official functions, unless it's delegated, appoint all committees, unless otherwise ordered or have the right to discuss issues today. Absence or facilitation of the board chair, the vice chair will form the of the chair. Superintendent or designated, or superintendent will designate a staff member to serve as board secretary, right, supervise and evaluate the secretary. And then she does all the reporting for the division of all matters and fairness to the minutes, maintains properly communicated official obviously. This next one is BBAA, individual board members' authority and responsibilities. Individual board member exercises the authority and responsibility of the position when the board is in legal session only. So our board member has the authority to act in the name of the board authorized by a specific board motion. If a legal vote of the majority of members of the board is required to transact any business, authorized to act as the district designated representative in collective bargaining, the board member may make and accept proposals to bargaining subject to subsequent approval by the board. When expressing personal opinions in public, the board members should clearly identify the opinion and answer their comment. Board members will hear the following carrying out responsibility of membership, so requests for information. Member desires a copy of the existing written report or survey prepared by the administrative staff will make such request to the superintendent. Copy of that will be made available to each board member. Requests for legal opinions, requests for legal advice or opinions by a board member that will incur a cost for the district and must be approved by the majority of the board before the request is made to legal counsel. The board chair is authorized to obtain legal advice or opinion if advantageous to so prior. 3, action on plans or requests made to the board. Board members receive complaints or requests for action from staff, students, or members of the public. Board members direct the staff, students, members of the public to the appropriate complaint policy. Such information will be played to the superintendent. And then board members' relationships to administration, individual board members will be informed about the district's education program, if there's a school, started facilities, the nation, a request information to the superintendent. And no individual board member will direct the superintendent to action without authorization. Board members upon hearing administration of the district or the schools. Contracts or agreement, all contracts of the district must be approved by the board unless otherwise by the board to the superintendent or resolution or approval. Next one is EFA's board member conflicts of interest. That's a big one. I won't go on. This is pretty self-explanatory. No board member will use his or her official position in office to obtain personal financial benefit or to avoid financial detriment for himself or herself, relatives or household members, or for any business with which a board member, household member, or a relative is associated. If you look at the second paragraph, there, talks about gifts, and so. Not being able to accept gifts, however, nor does it apply to gifts. So this is what we know, it's out of that, sense it's okay. Tonight we have meals, an example, so just to provide a meal support fees are acceptable with the first week of expense inspection. Conflicts of interest, it's very self-explanatory, business. It does go into the last paragraph there. Regarding relatives and showing conflict of interest, so relative to the spouse, parent, step parent, child, sibling, step sibling, son-in-law, or daughter-in-law, or board member, for the parent, step parent, child, sibling, step sibling, son-in-law, or daughter-in-law, of the spouse and board member. The relative also including the division from the board member has the legal support obligation for his employment, provides benefits to the board member who receives any benefit from the board or employment. Potential conflict of interest, means any action or any decision or recommendation by a board member that could result in financial benefit, detriment, for self or other relatives or business for which the board member is relative or associated, so otherwise provided by law. Part of this is we go down to the class exception, so if your board, if there's a conflict of interest, for instance, but you're voting to approve new collective bargaining agreements, the salary schedule for the teachers. Exceptionally, because it's having, but for the entire class, not just related to the person. Form run shifts, $50 limit. Determining the source of gifts, determining legislative and administrative interests. How we determine values of gifts. Resale value. Payments, and then exceptions to the brokerage rules on gifts. So campaign contributions, you might consider gifts. Gifts of relatives and members of the household are permitted. Information or program material, publications or subscriptions related to the recipient's performance of official duties, contributions made to legal expenses, trust fund, certain funding to met. So food, lodging, and travel, then we count towards the $50 amount. Organized planned events. So the board members are ready to accept payment for travel if you have any board members special capacity. And then number 6, food or beverage consumed at a reception, meal, or meeting held by the organization. Food or beverage consumed by the board member acting in official capacity. Waiver or discount on registration expenses. If received by the board member as part of the usual customary practice of the board. And of course, area. So, yeah, they to accept. And the last one in this review is ethics and methods. So in order to avoid the potential and actual conflicts of interest, board members will abide by following rules. So board members may not appoint, employ, promote, discharge, fire, or advocate for such employment decision or for relative or member of the household, unless the board member complies with conflict of interest requirements. Board member may not participate at the public official interview, discussion, debate regarding employment, promotion, discharge, firing, or promotion of relative to the household. And for workplace policy, a member of the household being the same that previous policy. And then again, there's also the class exceptions, which if you're voting on something that affects the entire class, for instance, classified association, rising association, just an individual person. This doesn't count within the policy.
No, super excited. Awesome.
So,
All right, will we vote on these next meeting?
the reason to vote,
I don't have to.
no, just do it, just review. Just review.
So you don't forget this.
I was hoping to vote.
Unless you want to change this to.
We'll see if, like me in 4 years, you remember you doing one of these.
8.0 board communication, there comments or anything from anybody? All right, no other business. Our next meeting is another work session on September 8th at 5:30. And then after that, we have a regular board meeting on September 22nd at 7 p.m.
I would actually like to ask Jim just to pass on our best to Chris, speedy recovery.
So
Sorry. Very good. All right, that, we are adjourned.